Hello everyone, Neil Tappin here from Golf Monthly and welcome to this Charley Hull What's in the Bag video. I'm going to be speaking to Charley about her club setup in conjunction with Mark Thistleton from TaylorMade. He looks after Charley's equipment. He knows exactly the kind of things that Charley's looking for in her game and how she has her clubs set up. Guys, if you're new to the Golf Monthly channel, please do hit the subscribe button to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos. Hit the like button if you like what you're watching, and also comment below, what do you make of Charley's set makeup? We would be interested to hear your thoughts. But let's head in now to the Performance Centre here at Woburn, meet Charley and find out what she has in the bag. Okay, Charley, so driver, you got TaylorMade M5.
Yeah.
You moved over to TaylorMade when, at the start of this year?
Yeah, I think March time. And I do really like driver because it's got that adjustable bit which can high and low spin on it, and it really comes in handy.
Do you notice the sort of the difference in feel when you move into a new brand and you're kind of testing everything out?
Well,
is it?
What I was using before was like was working for me pretty good, but then when it comes to these guys, I felt like everything's good from like the drive through to the wedges. So
yeah,
I'm pretty impressed.
Pretty happy with it. Okay, hit a couple for us if you can.
Okay.
Charley. Lovely, nice soft draw. Charley, that's your shot, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, nice draw.
And Mark, tell us about the setup of the driver. So Charley's got the weights in a very sort of specific position for her.
Yeah, so she was saying she likes to kind of utilise the front weight track, and that's particularly one thing that a lot of our players like to utilise, because these guys are playing all around the world in different conditions, different course types, high altitude, warm weather. So that front weight track, it kind of reduces or raises the spin. So we can, without changing the face angle, the loft, changing the shaft, anything like that, we can change the performance of the driver, just tweak it slightly, subtly maybe for the conditions. So like Charley says there, she's playing in a course that's particularly windy, we can just slide that weight track forward, bring the spin down a couple of hundred.
Okay, and you would do that, would you, Charley? Just make some minor adjustments?
I haven't actually done it yet because I'm a bit OCD-ish, like I really like the ball flight that I'm getting.
You like what you've got, yeah.
And I feel like sometimes I pretty much like lower the ball down to hit like a lower shot or tee up, but I think it is very good for that, especially on links golf courses, which I haven't actually played links this year, only once.
Yeah. We were just discussing it actually out there on the course, and she was saying maybe that's something I should actually utilise a bit more with you guys in the future. But obviously she's quite new to the brand, and there was a bit of a transition period, just
you've got to settle in with everything.
And it's hopefully things like that we can work together on going forwards. But she's got the back weight track set slightly on draw, because like you saw there, she just likes to see the ball falling a little bit right to left. So and the front track is kind of on a mid spin setup, so we've got the option to go a little higher or lower there.
Okay,
and number, yeah, go on then. The numbers all there look really good. Spinning just under 2,000. Launching at 14.7.
I hit that one a bit high off the face because the two pegs are so high.
But I'm pretty sure, Charley, you're on the fairway, so I think we'll take it.
Yeah. Can I ask a question on that actually? Sometimes I will feel like I've hit it like right at the top here.
Yeah. And
it goes actually further sometimes, and I feel like a real flush one in the middle. Why is that?
It's kind of creating that high launch, low spin flight that you might drop a couple of miles an hour ball speed, but in the right conditions, that high launch and low spin, you're actually going to get, because you were saying, because you do tend to generate quite a lot of spin.
Yes.
You don't create a lot of roll. So when you hit it up there, you might actually be getting the high launch with a little bit of forward roll as well.
Carried 243, total distance 267, good drive straight down the middle.
Yeah.
And then fairway woods you've got, and hybrid you've got M6 in both. Yes. Right. Tell us about fairway woods.
Well, I love this 3-wood. I really like it. It's quite strange. When I'm pumped up on the golf course, I'm playing with the girls and I'm hitting my driver, so only 5 or 6 yards past the girls, and I'll go to my 3-wood thinking I'll be like 20 yards short of them, and when they've hit driver and they've gone just as far, so I'm feeling like sometimes I get just as much out on my 3-wood as I do on my driver, but this is because it probably gets a little bit more roll in it as well.
Okay.
But it's such a good club off a fairway, like I love it. And I like to have quite a bit of a stronger 3-wood because I feel like, especially into the wind on par 5s, I can get up in 2.
She actually plays quite a strong loft, so it's a 15 head set on 14.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most lady players would probably play more like a 17 degree 3-wood, something like that, a little bit more help, but Charlie's one of the stronger players, so she plays quite a low loft, but I think she feels like
Still able to get the flight, still able to get the performance out of it.
That one I struck really well.
Good job. Well, what's the split between M5 and M6 on fairway woods? Are you getting sort of a trend towards one or the other?
Slightly more in the M6, so I'd say we've probably on tour got maybe a 70-30 split towards M5 in the driver, and probably almost the opposite in the fairway woods. The guys that kind of like the slightly more compact head, you know, a bit more traditional players might go for the M5, or if they like to take advantage of the sliding weight, but I think the M6 has been a real hit with us this year.
It's so versatile, easy to hit. And Charlie, you were saying that this hybrid that you've got into play has been a big deal for you this year. Tell us about it.
I love this club. I feel really confident with it because over the last 5 years I haven't really been as confident with a hybrid as I used to be, so I went back down to a 3-iron. I actually used to use, do you remember the TaylorMade 3-iron or 2-iron it was?
Like an RSI?
Yeah, I think it was. I wasn't contracted with you guys, but I used it at British Open and I had it in my bag for like 2 years because I felt more confident with a smaller head. But then I've obviously come back to it and I just love this rescue wood. I feel so much like I can draw it, I can fade it, and it's a good club for me.
Same shaft as different shaft to the
different shaft, yeah. So again, Charlie's pretty strong for like compared with a lot of the lady players. So a lot of the shafts she plays are a little bit heavier and stronger than most girls would play. This is a UST shaft, same as in the driver brand, so it feels going to be fairly similar there. But I think she's just probably found a little bit more versatility out of this hybrid. The CG is a little back, she can shape it both ways, she can hit it from maybe more variation of lies than she could with the 3-iron.
I'm not the best of hitting off mats, guys, because I broke my wrist when I was younger, and ever since when I hit off mats I don't feel like I can hit off them for that long and compress.
Oh really?
So I always tend to like pick it up, so I never usually have a range session off a mat.
I think in the fitting, as soon as there was a club that Charlie liked, she was like straight out onto the grass and wanting to feed it off the grass rather than off the mat.
And Charlie, you were saying earlier to us that you tend to, when you're going through the fitting process, you have to allow for that extra bit of distance, that extra bit of speed when you're out on the golf course versus when you're not out on the golf course.
100%. It can be kind of crazy once you like come out on the practice round. And I'll tell you an example, like 5-6 years ago I was playing an event in America and I hit 175 as a back pin, so I was hitting 5-iron in on the practice ground when I was practicing to it. And then the tournament I was like one shot behind the lead, coming down the 17th hole, and I've hit 7-iron, no wind, same conditions as the practice round, but I was that pumped up. I hit a 7-iron 175, so adrenaline's a big thing.
Yeah, and it requires a bit of getting to understand, not just by you and your caddy, but you guys as well. You need to understand that actually the spin rates might be slightly different in competition than they are.
Yeah, there's a few players that gain a bit of speed on the course. That's something I kind of found out as a fitter. You can do so much inside, but some guys actually, when they're playing under a bit more intensity, their speeds actually go up 2 or 3 miles an hour, and then the launch spins all change.
Yeah.
So quite often I've taken a TrackMan or fitting device out on the course and kind of compared their speeds with the range, and the spin can be up 200 or 300 RPM.
It's amazing. It's just a subliminal thing. Because they're not trying to hit it any softer on the range.
Exactly, and Charlie's certainly falls into that category. So you would fit the spin a couple of hundred lower in a fitting session because you know she's going to spin it, speeds are going to go up and she's going to raise the spin out on the course. Yeah,
it's going to be a bit of a different. Now let's can you pull a 7-iron out for us there? These are about as blade-like as you'll find anywhere on the market, I would say. Charlie, you've always played blades?
Yeah, I've always played blades since I was 2 or 3 years old. I've never not hit a blade. Well, that's a lie. The first time I didn't hit a blade was, where was it, when I just joined with you guys?
At Wentworth, we've done some testing with the 750, the small cavity head, and I think she said that was the first time she'd actually hit a cavity. But the performance was good in the testing, but the playability she found.
I just remember I went out on the golf course and thought, God, I've hit a flush shot there. It's come 20 yards short of the green because I fatted it, but I couldn't really tell the difference in the strike. As in, like with irons, with blades, if you hit a bad strike, you know it tingles up your wrist and you can feel it. But where them clubs have got a bit more of a miss area, like you don't quite feel it, do you know what I mean?
You understand immediately.
I always felt like when I had the other ones, it's a good thing, as in when I had a slight miss, it still felt like a flush strike, but
Yeah.
the blades, you know if you're not hitting it well,
And
especially in the cold weather.
your dad gave you a set of blades early on,
Yeah,
did
when
he?
I was 3 years old.
3 years old. Like, what sort of distance would you be hitting 7-iron, Charlie?
You usually hit about 165.
Okay.
That's a little bit shorter, but yeah, I usually hit about that on the golf course.
Very good. And I guess it's that consistency, isn't it? Well, what's the sort of split, Mark, with blades versus you've got a few different cavities, elements of forgiveness. What's the split, do you think, between the players you have?
Well, on the ladies tour, I think we were saying earlier, I think there's only maybe 2 girls that actually play blades. And even on the men's tour now, there'd probably only be as little as 30%, I would say, playing the blades now. Whereas you go back 10 years, it would have been 60 or 70%, and back in the 90s, probably more than that. But I think with the advancement in technology and the cavities, you know, improving the feel, forged faces, cavity back, the perimeter weighting, you can almost create like a blade-like feel in a more forgiving iron.
Yeah.
That's not for everyone, but you know, like we found with Charlie, she's very much a traditionalist. If you look at the kind of setup of her bag,
I just
very traditional.
I just wish the game went back to like super small head clubs all the time. Because when I was growing up, like that used to be the driver, didn't it? Like it used to look.
Well, even a 5-wood, probably in the 90s.
Yeah.
A 5-wood head now would have been like a driver then. So
that's I like smaller. Like to look down on. Because I feel like back then it was more of a ball strikers game as well.
I think Charlie falls into that category where she is very much, you know, with her speed and she's quite a traditional setup. She would actually you'd see her perform better on tougher courses.
Yeah, that's why I usually feel like I perform better on the majors.
Yeah.
Like because, like 5-iron or an 8-iron, I feel just as confident with a 4-iron. Do you know what I mean? Or rather than a 8-iron, like I feel super confident.
Yeah, and then into the wedges you've got milled grind, you've got you have a set pitching wedge there, you do. So set wedge, and then into 50, 54, 60, but they're not as advertised.
No, this one's got 55 degree.
55, yeah, just to split the difference in the, for distance gapping really.
Yeah.
Because I've got my sandwich at the moment, I just...
What sort of distances are you looking to hit with those clubs at the bottom end of the bag then,
hit my sandwich about 95 yards and then my gap wedge about 107.
Okay.
I don't really hit my pitching wedge.
Yeah.
It's weird, my brain works differently. Like I see a wedge starting at a 50 degree, even though my pitching wedge is, I just feel like when I hit a full shot with a wedge and a full shot with a gap wedge, it's a slightly different swing. I don't know why, but my pitching wedge is about 125.
Okay.
There's a bit of a gap between that and my gap wedge, but I've got a half and a 3/4 shots and a few field shots in between them.
Yes, and ultimately you're going to have to make a compromise somewhere. You can't carry 15 clubs, so you're going to have to do something somewhere.
100%.
And like, what's the work that you do with the players? It must be quite specific in this area of the bag because it's so you have to be so precise with the wedges, don't you? So
so mainly you'd be looking at a couple of things that I find important for the wedge fitting is the sole of the club, so finding the right amount of bounce for the player.
Yes.
Some players are kind of slightly steeper, shallower, they play their bunker shots differently, so that's something in the fitting process or when we're bringing a player over to TaylorMade we'll look at, see which bounce works most effectively. And then the other really important thing for the wedges is the lie angle. So, you know, getting the sole of the club to utilise the bounce, so creating the right lie angle so you can generate, you know, as much spin and the right contact. So I think Charlie's plays a pretty traditional length, but I think the wedges are sort of 2.5, 3 degrees flat. And that's where we found she got the most benefit with this kind of sole.
Very interesting, because a lot of amateurs wouldn't get fitted for their wedges. They probably should, because actually there's a few tweaks that you can make to really fit them in with who you are, how you swing it, what you do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think especially in the 60, a lot of guys, or the most lofted club I should say, you're not playing a lot of full shots, you're playing a lot of small shots with the hands a little bit
where you
lower.
want to be a bit flatter.
And a lot of our tour players would go kind of an extra degree flatter maybe in the most lofted, which I think Charlie's are about 2.5 flat, and then the 60 is 3 flat, I think.
Right, yeah. And Charlie, I can tell you're one of the ultimate field players I've interviewed. Yeah. So it's just interesting to see the kind of set makeup, and then into the putter, you have a very, you might be shocked to hear it, but a very traditional putter as well. Yeah, fair to say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a blade putter, and it's always what I prefer, a bit more of a blade.
Never ever in competition used anything more.
Yeah, I have, but I wasn't a big fan of it, so I went back to a blade. Yeah.
What is it about a bladed putter that you prefer?
It's something that I've been used to, and again, it's just traditional. I'm quite stubborn in that kind of way, but I just kind of like the feel of it. You can go a bit more in. I just feel like I've got more control of the head what it's doing rather than the putter controlling me. If that makes any sense.
I think it's kind of feedback again. So it's more if you're using it. She uses quite a small grip and a small head. It's more like responsive and player feedback rather than the face balance, bigger headed putters.
Probably,
and
the only thing I don't do traditional is I don't go left hand below.
Okay, right. Why did you do that?
Because I saw Lydia Ko doing it, and we was playing with each other like 5 years ago, and she held everything. So I just literally just go out and try left below right, and
Give it a go.
Kind of worked for me. So thanks for that one, Lydia.
What's the sort of work that you do with the players on the game on the greens? Because it's one of those areas where players are this more than any other, I guess. Yeah. Once you've found something that you've fallen in love with, you really don't want to be, because it's the money maker, isn't it? Ultimately, it's the one that converts. The scoring.
Obviously, there's so many different options with the putters, and there's always a player each week we find that's looking for something new that maybe you're struggling on the greens, but you'll see quite often that they'll revert back to what they know or what's comfortable, and sometimes you just need a bit of a confidence shift. You'll see like DJ is the ultimate one for that. He kind of goes to the spider putter because he putts better with it, it's more stable, he holds more putts. But he likes looking at the traditional blade putter like Charley, so he kind of gets his confidence and then he goes back to that one.
Yeah, and then when he wants to change, he goes back again and kind of works it that way.
So, but putter's something we're going to be working a little bit on with Charley, I think, this winter. Obviously, she changed halfway through the year to TaylorMade with us, but there's obviously we wanted her performance levels to kind of maintain or go up, but we've given her like a little bit of a grace period on the putter where we're going to do some work with her over the winter and try and find her some models.
Let's have a quick look at the head cover as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Every tour player I know has a few little special bits and bobs. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's Charley there. Who's next to you? Your golf ball looking pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the surprise shop. It's online golf store, and they did like a collection of mine, and that's me on my head cover on my little ball marker as well.
Yeah, and it says, "Hit it, find it."
Yeah, because someone said to me, my first ever Solemn Cup, like 2013, I was 17, and they go, so what's the best bit of advice you can do? I'm like, I just hit it, find it, and hit it again. I'm not going to die if I hit a bad shot. So, yeah, sometimes I need to listen to my 13-year-old self. And
don't we all?
Because I was a bit more, not cockier, but a bit more confident back then, and it was just pretty simple.
So there you have it, that was our Charley Hull What's in the Bag video. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do hit the like button. And also, comment below, what do you think of Charley's set makeup? I thought there were a couple of surprises in there, but definitely without doubt one of the most naturally gifted players I've ever interviewed, ever spoken to. She keeps things incredibly clear and simple, and clearly that attitude is one of the reasons why she's reached the very top of the world game. But that's it for now from Woburn. We will see you next time.